With the 2020 US presidential elections coming up soon, many Americans are getting ready to vote. Most will choose between two main candidates, Joe Biden from the Democratic Party and Donald Trump from the Republican Party. However, these aren't the only two candidates running. There are many others from third parties, such as Jo Jorgensen from the Libertarian Party and Howie Hawkins from the Green Party. Chances are that you have never heard of these two candidates. You may be wondering, how come not as many people know about them or the parties they represent? And so, in this debated video, we will be debating why third-party candidates can't rise in American politics. Before we go ahead, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Let's start. First, let's talk about third parties in general. In America, we have a two-party system, comprised of Democratic and Republican parties. These are the main ones, but there are also third parties such as the Green Party, Reform Party, Libertarians, Constitution Party, and the Natural Law Party. There are many of these parties, but there are barriers preventing them from succeeding in major elections such as the presidential election. In the past, it was much easier to start a political party and for its members to actually have a fair chance at winning. If the party had enough supporters and enough money for their campaign, their candidates would get their name printed on the ballot and would be officially in the election. But in today's modern two-party system, candidates can't even get their name on the ballot without petitioning for it by getting a certain amount of signatures from valid voters. Even if these third parties make it onto the ballot, the American political system generally works to the disadvantage of third parties and third-party candidates for many reasons. One obstacle third parties face is a winner-take-all voting system. The US voting system is governed by the Electoral College. In the Electoral College, each state is given a certain amount of votes based on their population. The state then uses a winner-take-all system to determine which party to give all of their votes to. For example, if 60% of Texas voted red and 40% voted blue, then instead of the votes being split between the two parties, all of Texas's votes would go to the Republican Party. This prevents third-party candidates from getting representation in the Electoral College. In order for a third-party candidate to win electoral votes, they would have to win the state outright, which is an extremely difficult task for them as they're competing with two already well-established parties. Third-party candidates may be able to take a percentage of an individual state's votes, but with a winner-takes-all voting system, they don't receive votes in the Electoral College. If only 5% of Texas voted for, let's say, the Green Party, then the Green Party still doesn't get any Electoral College votes because they didn't make up the majority of votes. So that 5% of people who voted for the Green Party essentially wasted their votes. Another problem that the third-party candidates face is that many voters don't want to waste their votes on them. People know third-party candidates are unlikely to win, and so they often won't vote for them, which makes it even harder for third parties to succeed. Furthermore, often major party candidates will incorporate the ideas of third parties into their own platforms to attract voters who would otherwise be incentivized to vote for struggling third-party candidates. For example, if one third-party candidate was pushing for criminal justice reform, a major party candidate might include that in their platform. Those who supported that third-party candidate due to those specific views may vote for the major party candidate instead because they're more likely to win and still support the same ideas. For a voter, it makes no sense to vote for a third-party candidate since it's almost guaranteed that the third party will lose. And if major parties are using the ideologies of the minor parties, then they can just vote for the major party that actually has a chance to win. Another problem that third parties face is a lack of exposure. A crucial aspect of political elections are the debates. Debates between candidates are important because they often address controversial issues and allow voters to see their political opinions. But for third-party candidates, it is difficult to even be allowed to participate. The Commission on Presidential Debates enforces a rule that presidential candidates must register at least 15% votes in 5 national polls. This number is hard for third-party candidates to reach and therefore gives them a major disadvantage. Debates are one of the best ways for these smaller candidates to be able to address millions of Americans at once and have their voters hear their opinions. Not having access to this would significantly hurt a third-party candidate's campaign. So, as we can see, third parties are extremely disadvantaged in the US political system. The lack of support and exposure makes it nearly impossible for these parties to rise. Thanks for watching this debated video. What do you think of the challenges faced by third parties? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.